Hi guys, today we will talk about Cyberpunk Orion, the upcoming sequel to Cyberpunk 2077. This title was first announced by CD Projekt Red in October 2022 under the codename Project Orion, and the studio has since confirmed it will officially be called Cyberpunk 2. In recent statements, CDPR explained that Orion is in active development. As of mid-2025, the team has completed concept work and entered full pre-production. The company estimates that making a game of this scope will require hundreds of developers and many years of work. CDPR's CFO noted that from pre-production to final release usually takes 4 to 5 years, implying Orion might not arrive until the late 2020s or early 2030s. In short, Orion is very much a long-term project. By way of background, Cyberpunk 2077 itself has evolved a lot since its 2020 launch. After a difficult start, CD Projekt used updates and a major expansion, Phantom Liberty, to turn the game around. Phantom Liberty came out in late 2023 and has been a huge hit, selling over 10 million copies by mid-2025. CDPR points out that Cyberpunk 2077 and Phantom Liberty now drive most of its sales revenue. The game's reputation also rebounded. For example, its Steam approval rating has climbed into the mid-90% range, reaching 95% positive. CDPR even expanded into other media. The Cyberpunk Edgerunners anime was very popular and a second season has already been announced. Phantom Liberty even won Best Game Expansion at the 2023 Golden Joystick Awards, highlighting the strong response. Witcher 3, by comparison, has sold over 60 million copies, underlining how large CDPR's audience can be. Officially, CD Projekt has kept Orion's story and gameplay details under wraps. We do know the development setup. The game is being made by CD Projekt Red's North American branch, a newly created team based in Boston with a studio in Vancouver. Core team members who worked on Cyberpunk 2077 and Phantom Liberty have moved there to lead the sequel. For instance, Gabriel Amatangelo, director of Phantom Liberty, is game director on Orion, and Paulo Sasco, a key designer, is also on staff. Several other veteran developers from the original game are involved too. In fact, the Boston studio was explicitly created to give Orion an authentic American feel. Acting producer Dan Hernberg said Cyberpunk is a uniquely American story, so building it in the US adds realism. Officially, Orion wrapped up its conceptual phase and entered pre-production by early 2025. CDPR said this project could involve on the order of 350 to 500 developers, and company leaders noted that from pre-production to launch usually takes 4 to 5 more years. All of this underscores how ambitious Orion is. In fact, Cyberpunk co-designer Paulo Sasco says the team is aiming to preserve the whole DNA of the first game. He also spoke about expanding on Phantom Liberty's branching narrative, which used a mid-game split to create different story paths, while ensuring that player choices from 2077 and PL remain valid. On the technical side, CD Projekt has announced that Cyberpunk Orion will be built with Unreal Engine 5. In March 2022, the company revealed that its next games, the new Witcher Saga and Cyberpunk sequel, would use UE5 as part of a partnership with Epic Games. This marks the end of CDPR's old Reed engine used for Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077, and a full transition to Epic's technology. According to Cyberpunk director Gabe Amatangelo, the studio is not starting from scratch with the Switch. Many core systems and tech, like physics and animation code, carry over into UE5. CDPR's leadership says this UE5 transition will elevate development predictability and efficiency, giving them cutting-edge tools and support for massive open worlds. The CEO even framed the Epic partnership as a way to stay at the forefront of technological progress. No specific platforms have been announced, but it's reasonable to expect Orion on PC and next-gen consoles, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, similar to Cyberpunk 2077's broad release. What about story and gameplay? Here it's important to distinguish confirmed facts from rumors. CDPR has given almost no concrete info on the plot or setting yet, only general promises to preserve the franchise's core DNA. Some clues have emerged. For example, Cyberpunk's creator Mike Pondsmith mentioned in a recent interview that the sequel will include another city we visit and that it feels more like Chicago gone wrong. If taken literally, that suggests players may be able to visit a ruined version of Chicago or some other city city in addition to Night City. Otherwise, almost everything is speculation. Another clue comes from a CDPR job listing. It specifically mentions designing the most realistic and reactive crowd system ever, along with memorable combat encounters and divergent experiences for various playstyles. In practice, that implies NPC crowds that truly react to the player, perhaps fighting back or behaving in complex ways, and combat scenarios that can be approached multiple ways. Fans also imagine other features, like intense vehicle segments, deeper hacking/cyberware options, and more branching narrative paths, but those remain unconfirmed. For example, actor Keanu Reeves said he would love to play Johnny Silverhand again in Cyberpunk 2, though he noted that 2077's many endings make that challenging. CDPR has not confirmed any returning characters. Until CDPR provides official details, these story feature ideas are pure speculation. To give a concrete example of how the reactive crowd idea might play out, imagine a firefight in a crowded street. Rather than ignoring it or disappearing, NPCs could flee in panic or even throw objects at enemies, creating truly unpredictable chaos. It's hard to say yet how deeply that will be implemented, but the job listing definitely implies a big push on crowd AI. In any case, any specific story or gameplay talk beyond what we discussed should be taken with a grain of salt. It's all unofficial until CDPR says otherwise. Finally, it's useful to see Orion in the context of CD Projekt Red's broader roadmap. The company has explicitly said it will develop the Witcher and Cyberpunk franchises in parallel, using flexible team structures. In fact, CDPR is now working on Cyberpunk 2, Orion, the next Witcher game, codenamed Polaris, on UE5, and even a new sci-fi IP, codenamed Hadar, at the same time. All these projects share the new Unreal Engine 5 technology. CDPR's leadership says working with Epic on UE5 keeps them at the forefront of technological progress. In practice, this means Orion and Witcher 4 will share technology and tools going forward. CD Projekt also plans to publish regular roadmaps outlining progress on each project. Officially, they remind us Orion is still years away, likely another 4 to 5 years from pre-production, so exact release dates will come much later. Notably, CDPR also announced a deal to acquire the Montreal studio Digital Scapes to bolster its development capacity, reflecting the scale of these projects. For now, fans should watch for updates via future strategy announcements. In summary, Cyberpunk Orion, also called Cyberpunk 2, is a major sequel under development at CD Projekt Red. It's being built by a mostly new North American team of veteran developers, including those who led the Phantom Liberty expansion. It uses Unreal Engine 5, and it officially entered early production in 2025. Official communications emphasize that CDPR is investing in cutting-edge technology and talent to make this a top-tier RPG. Because the game is still early in development, most specifics beyond these confirmed details remain speculation, given the strong sales and positive reception of the original game and its expansion, and even the anime. CDPR clearly sees Orion as a key part of the Cyberpunk franchise's future. For example, it's reasonable to expect the studio to reveal more at big gaming events, or their own showcases when the time is right. Until then, everything else, whether about story details or new features, should be considered unofficial. In the meantime, we'll keep gathering reliable info and share updates as they come. In any case, Orion is still years away, so fans can enjoy the existing Cyberpunk content and